Now I'm going to show you the technical technique for cutting a straight line. Remember, I have to do this with a camera in one hand, in my left hand, and I have to cut the line with my other hand. Now most painters can cut a line. We're going to cut a line right along the top of this seam right here, up to this seam. Now beginners will use tape. An expert doesn't need tape. Tape is only used for speed, because tape takes a long time to put on, a long time to take off. It's expensive and it slows the job down, especially if it's by the bid. Now our paintbrushes, they come in many varied sizes. This is a 4-inch, 3.5. Same as this. This is what's called a fence brush, and you'll notice how thick it is. Now a fence brush, let's just go, and these are smaller brushes and they go down to 1 inch. But a fence brush back in the day was when they had wooden fences. You had to get the paint on the fence. And remember, the first rule about painting, the very first rule about painting is to get the paint on the surface. And then we'll go over that too. Now for the technique. You want to have a bucket of water with you. Most people paint in the summer. It's hot. You also want to, if you have paint left over from the day before, you can, one way is putting plastic around it and leaving it there without air getting to it. It will not dry out, and you can use it day after day. Or what you can do is you can wrap plastic around the tops right here, and that'll be fine. Some people say put them in the freezer. Well, that's great if you got a freezer on a new job site, but if you wrap them in plastic, the best way is to clean them every day. Okay, that is the best way. And to get all the little things off here, use a wire brush, like I showed you in previous videos. Okay, we have water, we have this. I'm going to use a 4-incher here. You can see how it's not all together. What I like to do is dunk it in water. Water's your friend, okay? Water's not going to hurt this paint. This paint is water-based. If you think for 1 second that you're going to drop any paint on the concrete, which I do, paint does not come off concrete. Oil primer never comes off. It is a pain in the ass, especially with the hot sun. As soon as it hits concrete, you're screwed. So, we have this. Now we'll work on the technique. I have a ragdoll roller in here, if I can take this off. I was going to take, let me use my other hand here. I was going to take this off, but I wanted to show you one of the techniques that we use for keeping paint in its place. Okay, and we use a little tiny gallon strainer right here. What we want to do is, I'll switch hands here. First we have to load the paintbrush. Load it with paint. And loading the paintbrush does not mean just dunk it in there and you're done. You want to dunk it in to where the barrels will widen out like this, and it will hold a lot of paint on the inside, like this. You want to go about that much, just that much. Then you go like this, okay? What that does is load the paint up into the bristles. Now, our technique, first of all, we want to get about an inch, see if I can get this right, an inch below. What I'm doing is I'm putting a, this is a reserve paint right here. Then what I want to do with my hand at 45 degrees, and you want to hold your breath, and you want to twist your brush and move up to that line. Then what you want to do is you take your brush, you go back down and dab it again. And you keep going across. Now, if you run out of paint, you want to come back down. Remember, there is no one coat paint. Alright? Everything's 2 coat. It's got to be 3 millimeters. Now you don't want to have a lot of paint on the top of the brush, okay, because what that'll do is that will cascade into the top piece. What you want to do is take the paint down here and push it up into this. Let gravity work for you. Push it up into this line. But what you want to hold your breath, which I'm not doing, and you don't want to move your head. You want to look exactly where you're painting. You want to be still as a professional marksman. Now, a good painter can go both ways. Now that's your first coat. Your second coat, all you'll need to do is come up to within an eighth inch of that top line. You won't even need to get close to it. Now, if you're going to lunch or you're going anywhere, the paint is already starting to dry. Drop it in the water. Water is your friend. Okay, it's not going to hurt anything. You can dunk it in there as much as you want. Now, what a good painter will do is cut his line across here. And usually when we cut our lines, we cut them, say, at the right up at this light, the body underneath the soffits, if that's the way you're going to do it. Or we'll cut a line around this concrete here. And someone's already done it badly, so I had to come more out with it when I last painted. But cutting a line it takes practice to do it. But once you learn how, and believe me, it's a lot easier to do with two hands and not a camera in one hand. But this is your first coat. Your second coat, you'll put your paint down here and you'll dab it upwards. And you want it upwards with a small, like a wave puddle, and then just puddle it right across. And if you run out of paint, just get some more paint and go slow. If you start making a mess, then you're going too fast. And remember, a professional painter does not get it on his hands, and he doesn't get it on his clothes. He doesn't get it on the ground. He gets it on the object to be painted. So that's how you do that. That's the technique. Remember, not move your head. Look exactly where you're painting. Take a deep breath and hold your breath when you do your line. The line may be only a foot long, like this one, or 14 inches. And then you stop, reload your brush, take another breath, and do it again. And with practice, you'll be able to do this upside down, backwards, and with both hands. But no one teaches the technique. And I'm trying to show how that's done.